Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your finances are still stuck? You work hard, you follow all the advice, you chase every opportunity, yet it feels like you're hitting an invisible wall. What if I told you that the reason money flows into some lives like a river, but never seems to reach yours, has nothing to do with the economy, your skills, or your business plan? What if the key to unlocking your financial breakthrough isn't found in a book or a seminar, but in a spiritual practice that has been revered for centuries? What if fasting could break the invisible walls holding your finances hostage? For generations, fasting has been seen as an act of devotion, a way to humble the body and elevate the soul. It's a powerful discipline for spiritual clarity and closeness to God. But what if it's more than that? What if fasting is a divine code, a signal that reprograms the universe around you, shifting your reality from scarcity to supernatural favor? Think about it. When you fast, you're not just skipping a meal. You are making a profound statement. You're consciously silencing the noise of the flesh, the constant demands of your body, so that heaven can speak. You're declaring to God, I trust you more than my hunger. I choose faith over fear. I value your voice more than my comfort. And it's in that silence, in that intentional act of surrender, that something powerful begins to move. Because fasting doesn't only change your body, it changes your atmosphere. It starts to tear down the invisible spiritual walls that have been blocking your blessings. You see, maybe you've worked hard, you've networked, you've signed contracts, chased clients, and followed every strategy to the letter. And still, things fall apart at the last moment. A promised deal disappears. A client backs out. An expected payment gets delayed indefinitely. You're left wondering, what did I do wrong? But what if those closed doors weren't about your failure? What if they were spiritual signals, divine nudges, calling you to go deeper? Calling you to fast, to reset your spiritual alignment with heaven's economy. The Bible tells us that our battles are not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces. Your financial struggle might not be a business problem, it could be a spiritual one. And you can't fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons. You can't strategize your way out of a spiritual blockade. You have to engage on a spiritual level. The truth is, every fast is a battle, but not the kind you might think. You don't fight flesh and blood. You fight discouragement. You fight doubt. You fight the nagging voice in your head that says, this is pointless, just give up, nothing is going to change. It's a battle for your focus and your faith. But the moment you persist, the moment you push through that initial resistance and say, Lord, I'm fasting not for food, but for favor, not for worldly power, but for your purpose, the atmosphere around you begins to shift. Let's be real about the process. Day 1. You'll feel the hunger in your stomach. It's physical. It's demanding. Your body is screaming for what it's used to. Day 2. The battle often moves to your mind. This is where the doubt, the irritability, and the temptation to quit get loud. But if you can push through, something amazing happens. By day 3, you might start to feel a lightness in your spirit. The physical hunger subsides, the mental noise quiets down, and a new kind of clarity emerges. That's when the walls begin to crack. This is because fasting is not about starvation. It's about surrender. It's you looking up to heaven and saying, I'm done. I'm done trying to fix this on my own. I'm done relying on my own strength, my own intellect, my own connections. I surrender this situation to you. I trust that you can transform what I can only struggle with. And that moment of genuine surrender is when miracles are born. That's when the unexpected email arrives. That's when the contract that fell through suddenly reopens. That's when strained business relationships begin to heal. The impossible starts to breathe again. Maybe you've been asking God for money, for a financial rescue. But what if heaven is waiting for alignment? Maybe the prayer isn't, God, send me money, but rather, God, make me ready to receive. Purify my heart, clarify my vision, and align my will with yours. When you fast, you're tuning your spirit to a divine frequency, the same frequency that creates abundance, peace, and clarity. Your physical hunger becomes a spiritual prayer. Your silence becomes a song of worship, and your obedience becomes the magnet that draws heaven's resources closer to you. So if your finances are stuck, if everything you try feels blocked, maybe it's not a punishment. Maybe it's a divine invitation, an invitation to step away from the noise and the hustle and to enter a period of fasting, an invitation to realign your spirit and break every spiritual contract of lack and limitation that has been hovering over your life and your family for generations. You see, fasting isn't about loss. It's about gaining access. Access to divine wisdom that outweighs any business book. Access to divine strategies that your mind could never conjure up on its own. Access to a level of favor that makes no sense to the natural world. God doesn't need your food. He needs your focus. He desires your undistracted attention. And when your focus shifts from your problems to His presence, from your lack to His abundance, everything else in your life begins to follow suit. Your perspective changes. You start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You receive creative ideas for your business that feel downloaded straight from heaven. You begin to operate not from a place of striving, but from a place of grace and flow. So I want to challenge you today. What if your next financial breakthrough isn't waiting for you in a bank account, but in your spirit? What if your greatest financial strategy isn't a new marketing plan, but a decision to go without for a little while, so that heaven can pour in? Don't fast to try and impress God, or to twist His arm into giving you what you want. He's a loving Father, not a cosmic vending machine. Fast to hear Him more clearly. Fast to open your heart to His will. Fast to position yourself to receive the good things He already wants to give you. Because when you fast, heaven listens. Your sacrifice, your focus, your surrender, it gets heaven's attention. And when heaven listens, everything on earth must respond. The doors that were shut must open. The resources that were held back must be released. The blockages must be cleared. Your financial reality must align with heaven's promise of abundance for your life. The breakthrough you've been praying for is closer than you think. It's waiting for you on the other side of your obedience. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this message resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content to help you grow in your faith and walk in your purpose. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. God bless you.